recording. All right, everybody, it is April 16th, and this is highlighting the amazing vision team at the Mastermind Company. I hope you guys are having a great day. Go ahead and put in the chat if you're not part of Team Julie Kay or JKSOM. Jump in there and just say, hey, I came on today because I wanted to hear all the craziness or just to learn about what this company is all about. We're so happy that you're here. I'm going to go ahead and put my cell phone number right there. If you guys want to call me later or send me a text. Yes, I'm always busy, but I'm never too busy to talk to somebody. I will always make it happen, even through emergencies, which, happens every day. So there's my cell phone. Just write it in. I love it. I saw this on Facebook this morning. I was like, yeah, let's see what it is. Oh, hey, Kristen, where are you from? I like that. I like somebody that sees it on Facebook.
Saskatchewan, Canada, actually.
Say it again. It was so quiet.
Saskatchewan, Canada.
Okay, all right. Where's that? And I can't, I don't, is that close to, I wonder if it's close to
Like
Rhonda.
where North Dakota is, like keep going up.
Okay, okay. All right. Well, I am so glad that you decided to jump on today. That's so great. I hope that I'm everything that you want me to be. How have you seen me? Just Instagram? Like, where did you find me, sister?
No, I've been following you for years. I was in Vegas
The web?
summers ago and pretty awesome. So yeah.
Amazing. Fantastic. Sorry that I'm that introvert and I'm really hard to talk to. So maybe next time. Just kidding. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Bethany is so excited to be here and can't wait for Nashville. Sold out, girl. You got in. Dude, we got a waiting list of over 20 something people. I mean, it's good. That's great. That says a lot about our amazing team. All right, so what I want to let you guys know, I'm originally from North Little Rock, Arkansas, and moved to Branson, Missouri, got in a magic show, met my cute husband. His name's Hot Daddy Daryl. And then I moved to Vegas to become a showgirl. Then I moved to LA, opened my studio for 15 years. COVID hit. I was like, dude, I need a change in my life. Came back home, and in the next 2 years I've enjoyed it will be 7 years here in Arkansas, but I am ready to move back to LA and start a new adventure of my life. That's just the way that I am. I can't live in one spot for too long. I gotta have fun, and I gotta try and do all the things. If I'm inspired, honey, I'm getting in a car or getting on a plane. I'm a part of LA Dance Magic. If you guys don't know that, it is a convention with the legendary Jackie Slight. It's my home. It's been my home for 9 years. I can't wait for next year to be my 10th year. I did, in fact, confirm with Jackie that I wasn't going to be fired before my 10th year because we have LA Dance Magic jackets and we get a 10-year patch, and I really wanted the 10-year patch. So I was hoping I wasn't going to get fired from that. And if anybody, raise your hand if y'all know Jackie Slight. Yeah, she flipped me off. So there you go. So that's exactly how that conversation ended. Hey, Jenny, how are you, sister? I love it. I was almost about to say I've been in bed with you, but no, I slept in your house. So that didn't sound right either. So it's okay. I always talk about this. I love it. Hey, are you coming back to Energize this year? Am I going to get to see you again, Jenny?
I am. I will be there.
Okay, do you want to come have dinner with me again?
Sure.
Okay, perfect. All right, we'll
Well,
figure it out.
last time we were there, Daryl's sitting there. I'm like, where's Julie Kay? Oh, she's in bed already. She's done. I'm like, it wasn't that late.
Well, listen, let me tell you something. If you ever need a late night drink, go out with Daryl. He's got your back. Jenny, he could tell you all the trash on me. It's just true.
It's true. Yeah. But
It's true.
but last time I just crashed your dinner party.
And you know what? Guess how many shits I gave? No. Hey, this is the kind of company that I run, you guys. I want it to be a conversation. I want you to feel like you're a part of this family, even through weird conversations, conflicts, communication, all of that stuff. You know what? Here's the deal. My first part of talking before anybody else talks is about chaos. And you know what? When we signed up to be a dance studio owner or a dance teacher or even in this business, we invited chaos into our life, right? It's just the way that it is. And so I'm excited to talk about chaos today. Speaking of chaos, as I look at my notes really fast, I love it because I looked, everybody's on Chat GPT. We know this. We're not all stupid. Chaos, this is what it said. Coming together, hustling, achieving, organizing, and shining. I like that. I'm going to say it again because mine would have been like, well, I'm not even going to say what I really wanted to say because it was really bad. Okay. And if y'all know my brain, I go there. Coming together, hustling, achieving, organizing, and shining. Okay. Well, coming together was exactly what I wanted to talk about today because yesterday my life hit complete chaos. So I'm just going to kind of give you guys a heads up of this is kind of how the industry works when you own a studio or when you manage a studio or when you're a dance teacher. Okay, so yesterday morning, I wake up, I go get my shake. Actually went in and filmed. I got my shake and I went and worked out and I came home and I went to go take my daughter to the chiropractor. Letitia, who owns the dance studio, calls and said, hey, listen, Brian Kirby fell on a roof and is now unconscious. Now, Brian Kirby and I went to high school together. His wife and I work hand in hand together at the dance studio, and they have two beautiful daughters at the dance studio who are 9 and 13 years old. Jennifer and I are like this. We work together almost every single Wednesday. She's from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, good person. She owned her own dance studio, so we know how to hustle and get things done, which comes into the word chaos. So I was like, okay, but then to tie it all in, which is crazy, is Marissa, Brian's sister, works at the dance studio as well. So we have Jennifer, who's a dance teacher and runs the studio, and Marissa, who is a choreographer, dance teacher. So I sent a message to Marissa and I said, how is everything? I heard that Brian fell. And about 10 minutes later, she goes, he's just passed away. And I went, what? He's my age. What happened? Zeta, get out of the chiropractic chair. We got to go. We got to go get Letitia. We got to get to the studio. That means we're down 2 teachers. And then to throw a whole wrench in, y'all, this is why I'm saying chaos. Joanna, who is our ensemble pre-company director, has a scheduled baby the same day. So now we have Joanna out, we have Marissa out, and guess what? We have Jennifer out. All right, raise your hand if you've been in this position before. Yeah, okay. Right, you freak out, and what do? Oh my God, you have to go, who's gonna take this class? Do we cancel this class? Boom, and guess what? It's Parents Week. Does anybody, like, you laugh, but does anybody kind of feel this chaos pain? And the reason I talk with you real about this kind of stuff is because you know what? You can't have a system in place for this. You just really can't. I mean, you can kind of, but the main thing that I said is, Tish, let's get to the studio. So basically what I did is I took the spreadsheet that's color-coded with everybody that's working, I put it in a working document, and we started going through and going Jennifer's classes, my classes, the 2 girls that their dad now has just passed away, their company classes. We're going to cancel company classes because you know what? Everybody's going to be freaking out and want to go help those 2 girls. Okay. So we had the mothers. We have a group called Moms in Motion that are head captains of the group. And boom, what did they do? They set it up right away to go help like the families provide dinner last night, to set up text call messages to Jordan and Brantley of how they could be friends and blah, blah, blah. And then guess what? Today, we have a therapist coming to the studio before because they're coming to rehearsal today because they need to get out of the house because it's too much for these young kids. They have a therapist coming to talk to them for the first 30 minutes of class to make sure that we all know how to handle this together going into a competition weekend. Pretty amazing, right? This is what we worked out yesterday. So I'm not teaching ballet. Now I'm running in and jumping and teaching this class. And boom, what did we do? We came up with a great letter to make sure that we posted in the group text messages. It just said, hey, letting you know there is something that's crazy that's happened at the studio. We've had a very close person pass away. We need everybody to give us some grace. We're so sorry. Our head's not gonna be in the game today, but just know that these classes are canceled. We're gonna give you an update at 5 o'clock. Why 5 o'clock? This happened at noon. Her children are still in school and don't get out till 3, and nobody can know that their dad has passed away. So can y'all imagine? Like, this is called chaos. And this is like what I want you guys to understand, that there is no system in place for all of this until different acts of craziness happen. All of this happening at one time. All right, Lynn, tell me how you would have handled it different, or do you think that we handled it in the right way, sister?
I think I think you did a great job.
I mean,
My heart is broken for those girls and for Jennifer and your whole Dance Dynamics family. I'm so sorry.
you know what? I mean, it's just kind of like one of those things like, he went to school with me. I'm like, wait, hold on. Brian Kirby just passed away. Wait a minute. And to get kind of give you like a little headway, he was like the star baseball player. And that's when I started to become a baseball fan because my boyfriend was there. He was almost sent to the minor leagues and hurt his shoulder, didn't get to go. So we always shared this baseball love. So, it's kind of crazy. Like, don't y'all think? It's wild, all of the things that happen. But through it all, here's the deal. Thanks for jumping in, Miss Lynn, is that you come together, and in moments like that, all the stress of the business, it kind of fades away because you need to make sure that everybody's okay inside the business. So what I really wanted to talk to you guys about today before Michelle jumps in, because I don't want to take up her time, is you know what? Things happen. Life happens. And what I love about our mastermind company community is that we're always there. I sent a group text to our group yesterday and everybody was so loving and so happy. And, it just made me really feel so connected to our team to know that everybody came together at that moment. And guess what? The parents are coming together. We've sent a whole statement out to the whole entire studio. And let me tell you something, GoFundMe is up. The church is there ready to help them. Now they're setting up play dates to take them away to go have ice cream and to do different things. We don't know if they're going to be at competition this weekend. So we made an entire letter to the company parents and letting them know if they come to competition, we're going to go on with competition and all they need is a hug. Nobody talk about it unless they want to talk about it. And guess what? If they do not come, we're going to leave those blanks open. Nobody's going to reblock. We will let the competition know. And whatever we get is whatever we get, no matter what. We're dedicating the whole weekend to the entire Kirby family and we're going to come together. And that is what chaos turns into community and it turns into success because we work together to have to provide this amazing thing for this family. So that was my spiel. Michelle, what are you talking about today, girl? That's kind of a heavy thing to follow, but I know you're going to come up with some amazing things. And your title is Systems That Save Your Sanity. Okay, great. Because you know what? I now need a system to kind of back up from what the hell I just went through yesterday. So everybody, welcome Michelle. She's going to give you a little tidbit about what all the things that she is. And then we're going to go into Haley Nevins. All right.
Hi, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Michelle Femino. I am the operations director here for the Julie Kay Mastermind. And in my other life, I own a dance and gymnastics center in Wareham, Mass. For the last 35 years. We're going on year 35 recitals. So it's pretty exciting. Okay, my topic for you is all about symptoms and how they save your sanity. I mean, I can't think of a better way, honestly, Julie Kay, that you introduced me and that I happen to have systems, because one of the lessons is that we need our systems, but we also need to be able to defer from our systems in a heartbeat. And you guys are like the spitting image of the way that a team works. And with systems in place, you guys were ready. You knew you had to get certain things out. Even if they weren't prepared already, you knew you needed an email. Bonus to you guys for getting a therapist out there. That's amazing. So here we go. Systems, knowing how to make them and why you need them. I wanted to start with exactly what is a system, because I feel like a lot of times we come on these Zooms and we talk about topics and you spend half the time Googling, what is she even talking about? So I want to tell you that our system is basically anything that you do again and again and again. So pretend you're tying your shoe. What do you have to do first? Pick up one shoelace, pick up the other side, cross it. You tie your shoe the same way every time. Why? So that your shoe stays tied and doesn't come undone when you're teaching. Same thing with systems. You want to make sure that you have certain criteria in place so that they're done the same way by every person, whether I do it, whether Julie Kay does it, whether the system at your front desk does it. Everybody is doing it the same way, so you get the same outcome. Systems allow your studio to run with consistency, and that you don't have to rely on you for every decision. The last thing you want is your team coming to you. How can I do this? Do I need to do this? When do you want this done? Nope. Put your systems in place so they know the answers to all this. I made a lot of comparisons within this speech to like a garden. Do you have a garden full of weeds and you can't find your flowers? Or is your garden blooming and you can smell your roses? That's why you're going to want to have your systems in place. Okay. If you don't have systems in place, you're going to have constant questions from your staff. You're going to have a feeling of overwhelmed, and you're going to react to things quickly and maybe second guess what you said or give incorrect information. if you don't already have an outline of what you're going to be talking about. This is going to result in burnout. You're going to have more stress in your life. And more importantly, there's going to be no real growth within your business. Basically, you're staying stuck pulling out the weeds of your business every single day. All right. The power of a systems. Again, it goes back to, like Julie Kay said, the chaos. It's not random, it's positive. Each system, whether it be miscommunication or like something that you need, right? So we need clear communication channels. We need defined daily workflows. We need ownership of task. I can't tell you how important that one is. Ownership of task. Who is doing what within your business so that they know what their job is. They can't say, oh, I didn't know that. They know it's their system and they will take ownership of that system when it's done. You're going to create a stronger foundation for growth. And back to my garden, you're going to stop pulling the weeds and you're going to start to smell the flowers. They're not ready to pick yet, but you're going to start to smell them. Okay, what does a strong operation look like? Let's take your communication system. You're going to make sure that within that system, you're going to have a clear chain of command. Maybe you're going to have a staff communication map. People have made them with like you in the middle. And then you're going to branch out and put each staff member's name on the next block. And then from there, you're going to put what everybody does. Post it up in your employee room so that everybody knows what they're in charge of. If I'm a new employee and I have a question, all I need to do is look at that map and go, oh, I'm going to go to Haley because she knows how to do the digital content. I don't need to bother Michelle because she doesn't have an idea what that is. I'm going to go right to Haley. That's your system. Make sure you have organized systems. Make sure you have daily operation systems. How do you do when? What do you do when you come into your business? Do you turn the light on? Do you have to check the heat or air conditioning? Has the trash been out? There can be a system for every single thing in your business. I feel that we make systems for our big projects. So like our recital has a system, our summer session has a system, we have lesson plans. But do any of you have like, say, a maintenance system? What happens when the toilet overflows? Do you have an emergency system? Do you have a system for, say, subs? Just a system for that. So what I want you today is go through your systems. Which ones do you have? Where can you start building new ones? Because with strong systems, you're going to have strong foundation, which is going to give you growth. And this is how you're going to stop pulling the weeds and start seeing the flowers. You're going to have more peace as an owner. You're going to have more confident staff. You're going to have consistency with your families. They're going to trust what you're saying because they know that you're saying it from knowledge, or more importantly, that your staff is saying it from knowledge and they're not just guessing. All their answers are coming from the top and they're saying what you want them to say. So stop pulling the weeds, start smelling the flowers. Small operational changes will create big momentum. This is what's going to give you the growth in your business. So I'm going to leave you with this. What is one system that you're going to solve this week? Create just one, or go back and look at one and retweak it. Great time to start looking at your recital systems and retweak it. What should you have done by now that did not get done? So you have to put it earlier in your system for next year. Because if your studio can't run without you, it's not a business, it's a job. You want to run it like a business. Thanks, everybody. Go get those systems done.
I love it. And what I love is that Michelle has presented so many times on JKSOM. That's our owner platform, which allows two teachers to be on Team Julie Kay. And what I love about every single week when we meet, it is not just talking at you. We give you a Canva template that you can then have, so it's all ready to go. We just talk through it. It's one of the highlights I think that we do that no other company does out there. And every week it's a new Canva template that's going to help you apply things that you need done right away so you're not overwhelmed with starting at ground zero, because it's just a little stressful. That foundation is hard to lay it down sometimes. Michelle, great job. All right, introducing Haley. Go for it, Miss Haley. Tell them all the things about you, girlfriend.
Hi everyone, I'm Haley Mae Nevins and I'm from Oklahoma. I am the Team Julie Kay Director and the Digital Content Director for the Julie Kay Mastermind Company. My role involves being fully connected and aware of what our clients need during each season of life that they're in, and then providing that resource and information to help them navigate whatever it is they're navigating. So my keyword for my little 5-minute slot here is going to be the word connected. Okay, how connected are you to your clients and their needs, and how does that show in your digital communications? So my question for you isn't, are you posting or are you emailing or are you showing up digitally? But my question is, are you actually connecting? You don't need more content going out more and more and more. You just need content that's making someone feel something, understand something, or know something, right? We want intention behind the content we are building. Okay, everyone, nod with me or shake your head no. Do you feel connected to your clients on social media? I like Kristen went this way. I like this one. That one's fun. Yeah. Okay, grab a pen and paper. Okay, pen and paper. We're doing notes, guys. So sometimes with my role, sometimes the focus for me on the JKM platform isn't with the content creation, but it's with making the connection between me and the members happen. I need to anticipate their needs and make sure that I am finding the correct resources inside our platform to help them. And I need them to know that I am here for them as their go-to gal to hear out what their needs are and making sure, okay, if I can't provide a resource for them, I need to communicate that with the team and let them know we've got to create this. So that's my job. My job is to make sure that they know what my job is. Yeah. Does anyone feel that you're not struggling with content, but you're struggling with connection? Show of hands. Do you feel like that's your struggle, the connection within the content and your clients? Kristen, I love you. I love it. Okay, so let's shift that struggle with connection with these 3 things to think about when you're creating these emails, posts, or other digital content. Okay, so pen and paper, here we go. Number 1, connection over perfection. Everyone say it with me. Connection over perfection. Okay, people do not connect to perfect. Yeah, they don't. They connect to the real. So they want to see what's actually happening inside your studio, the laughter, the growth, the messy, beautiful moments, right? They want to see you. So stop waiting for it to be perfect, because if it feels real, it'll work. All right, number 2, consistency builds trust. Everybody all together, the whole classroom. Consistency builds trust. And I know my counterpart, Haley Walker, she's next up. I know it. And she's going to touch on this too. I just know it. But your content is your reputation before someone ever walks through your doors. So the way you're showing up online tells people who you are. The way you're communicating in those emails out to clients, that's showing who you are, right? So if you're showing up one week and then disappearing the next, people feel that. And whether we like it or not, if you disappear online, people assume something's wrong in your personal life, in the business. That's just the assumption. So stay consistent, same energy, same heart, same message, because trust is built in the repetition, and you'll see and feel that. Okay, number 3, our third one. Speak to one person. Write that down. Speak to one person. This is where everything changes when it comes to creating this content, okay? Stop trying to talk to everyone. When creating digital items, think about the who. Think about that one dance mom you want this to speak to, or that one dancer, or that one teacher. Make it personal and make it feel like you're speaking directly to them. Because when one person feels seen, everyone totally leans in to listen. Okay, so we have those 3 things. Now let's make this super simple and practical. What can you actually do? So pen and paper, people, here we go. We're writing these things down. These are things you can do in the next week or 2, right? On your socials, in your digital content you're creating. You're going to show real moments from your classes. Your dancers lining up to go inside the class. Yeah, your dancers raising their hands to ask questions. You're going to celebrate the little wins. If someone learned how to tie their tap shoe, you better make them sit down, grab your phone, take a video of that, and you post that on your Instagram story. You're celebrating that small little win. Do a look what they learned today post. Teachers especially, grab your phone and say, parents, look at what your dancers learned in Miss Haley's jazz hip hop class today. Boom, show them. Taco Bell, McDonald's Big Mac, whatever the term is that day that they rocked. Making sure you're using your voice and talking to the camera and writing captions that sound like you. These are all things I want you to try to implement in your next few weeks as you create your digital content. Most importantly, though, and I'll close this out, show progress, not just the performance. Show all the practice that it took to get to that end of your show. Yeah, a reminder, your studio is already amazing. It's just your job to show it on all of the different platforms. Yeah, it already is. Content isn't about going viral. It is about building trust with your clients you currently have and hopefully those new potential clients. And when your content connects to your vision, to what you want your studio known as, to what your philosophy is, your business grows without you having to chase it. So I'm going to leave you with that. Thanks for listening to me. I know Haley Walker's next, but I hope you got one nugget of gold from that.
You're amazing. We love you. All right, here we go. Here comes Miss Haley Walker with Post with Purpose. Go for it, sister.
Hi guys. First I just want to say thank you, Haley, because that was the perfect segue into my discussion with you guys today. And I just want to say too that I'm so lucky to work alongside her and the other people in this company. They really are such an incredible group of women, and yeah, it's just a blessing to be a part of the team. And I'm excited to be here with you guys. So if I haven't met you all before, which I see quite a few faces that are new to me here. My name's Haley Walker. Not to be confused with the other brunette Haley, Haley Nevins. We are two different people. People seem to forget that sometimes. I'm based in New York City, and I am the Julie Kay Mastermind Company's resource and content director. So my role is all about helping our brand show up online in a way that feels really clear and intentional and true to our brand, which can be challenging in this day and age. So that means I wear a lot of hats within this company. I help create and manage Julie Kay's social media. I support the company with our launches and promotions for new products. I organize content for our live events. And the most important part of my role is I make sure that everything I put out within my online platforms reflects the heart of the mastermind company. So I also want to share something about my perspective that I think is unique within a social media role. So I'm not just sitting behind a screen all day on my computer, like banging out crazy social media posts that are going viral. I also spend a lot of my time in the classroom. So I think it brings a unique perspective into my social media approach because I'm not just guessing what, our members and followers want to see. I have an understanding and an eye for what teachers and studio owners and the dancers that follow Julie Kay are wanting to see and wanting to engage with in an online setting. So I think one of the biggest things I've learned within this is if we're not staying visible and relevant online, then people begin to forget that you exist as a company, which I know Haley touched on that as well. And I want to double down on the fact that we don't mean that in a harsh way of like, if you're not pushing out perfect social media posts, then your business is not real, or that is a false narrative that I think people get caught up in a lot in social media because it's so like, it's such a hot and heavy thing right now in our world. And what I mean by that is that in today's society, people want to feel connected to the businesses and organizations that they're putting their time and energy and money into. And social media is often one of the first places that someone experiences your business, right? They're not going on a Google search anymore. I know for me, when I'm in New York and I want to go find a new restaurant, I get on TikTok and I'm like, restaurants in West Village, and I find a restaurant on social media now. So it's important to remember that before a potential client ever buys in from you or signs up for a trial class or even really walks through your doors, they're getting a sense for who you are as a brand and a business via your presence online. And that's why I always come back to the idea of posting with purpose, which is my topic for today. I think, like I've said before, and Haley also touched on this as well, that there's so much pressure to post every single day. And I think it turns into you just throwing things up to fill the space on your feed. But random posting often leads to random results. So it's important to remember that every post needs to have a reason. And for me, as the social media coordinator for the company, before I post anything, I'm always asking myself, is this building trust in the business? Is this helping our audience feel connected to us? Is it teaching them something useful? Is it inviting them maybe to take a next step? Um, and I think you can do that by showing member wins or behind the scenes moments. There's lots of different way that you can use simple posts to engage with your potential clients, current clients, and followers. So I want to remind you that intention during posting really matters. And the second thing I want to touch on today is trends, which social media is very trendy right now, right? We're all trying to touch on trends, make it amazing and cool and do the trends that everyone else is doing, use the trending audios, but I want to remind you that you don't need to copy the trends you see on social media. You want to make sure that it's in a format that is highlighting your brand. So ask yourself how you can make the post make sense for your audience. Yeah? Make the trends make sense for your audience. Yeah. So that's how you're going to stay relevant as a brand without feeling forced. So I want your biggest takeaway for today to be not just posting to keep up with trends and just throwing stuff out there. Your goal is to post to connect and post to serve your community and the community that you want to be involved with, and most importantly, post with purpose. So thank you, everyone. I hope you enjoyed my little segment today. All right.
Thank you, sister. Amazing job. And y'all, here's the deal. My Instagram, she totally does it, but my stories don't get mad at me. I post, it's going to be about the Yankees and then dance, then Yankees, then dance.
Hey, we're being relevant, you know? You got to be real. You got to be real.
But the problem is when they don't win, you know. Okay, there's that. All right, hey, Malika, let's go, girl. Yours is bringing the energy to the room, and you do that, y'all. We just got a great group. I'm so excited that you get to see everybody. Malika, go for it, sister.
We do have an awesome group. I love this group and I love this community. Hello, everyone. My name is Malika Simon, and I am the culture coordinator here at Julie Kay Mastermind Company. And I am so incredibly grateful to be in this space and to have this opportunity to work with so many amazing people. Like, we're unicorns, y'all. I say this all the time. We, as dance studio owners, studio managers, teachers, we are literally unicorns, and we're a special group of people. So it's just exciting to be here and share with you guys today. A little bit about me. I'm originally from Chicago, but I reside in Texas, in a suburb right outside of Dallas. I've been here long enough to call Texas home, but I'm a Chicago girl through and through. Anyway, so I serve as the culture coordinator for Julie Kay Mastermind Company, and my main role is helping studio owners and dance teachers build environments that are conducive to helping our families and our students and our staff, anybody that is entering our buildings within the four walls of the studio or within the four walls of the classroom, feel safe, supported, challenged, seen, all the things. I'm here to have the difficult and hard conversations. I'm here to help answer the difficult and hard questions, the things that people are afraid to talk about, worried about being offensive. This is the safe space to ask those questions. This is the safe space to get that information, because we don't do better unless we know better. Yeah. And we can't do anything about what we don't know. And if you're unsure, it's best to ask those questions versus going off of what you think might happen and then unintentionally being offensive to someone. So never be afraid to ask the hard questions or have the hard topics and hard conversations. Though dance has been in my life for 25 something years, my background is also in psychology and child development. And I use that every single day in how I teach and how I lead. And through this, I've learned how people learn, how they are motivated, and what they need to feel confident, to feel seen, and feel successful. So I'm here to share those things with you so that we can all grow and have these environments that are great for our families. Everybody is different, and what you do at your studio, it works and it's fine. You don't need to be like somebody else. I started out that way, trying to be different, but that's not how I was operating. So what I was saying was different from what I was doing. And this is where your culture tends to get weak. So today I'm focusing on, with my topic with you, is just simple things to how to build a strong culture within your studio. Culture is a lot. It's not, especially here in this company, it's not a buzzword. It's not a trend. It is the foundation of what we do. It's that feeling that people have when they come into your space and when they leave your space. And that's every single person, from your staff to your families and parents to your students. And you want to make sure that that stays strong from top to bottom. And when you have those weak moments, guess what? We can fix them. The thing is acknowledging when those weak moments are there and then putting things in place to fix them. So I want to challenge you today when we're talking about culture. We always talk about vision statements, mission statements, those things. How do we translate what you're saying and what you're doing to what your clients are actually feeling on a day-to-day basis? It's a big scope, right? But I want you to start in one space. For me, customer service is everything. When it comes to my parents and my families, they're going to probably interact with somebody from my staff before they interact with me. Whether that's through an email, as the Haleys have mentioned, through your social media or what's on your website. So you want to make sure that language that you're using in those spaces equals what's happening when they walk into your space. So like, you know what, this is exactly what I thought it was going to be, or it's more than what I thought it was going to be. So that presence makes a difference. So to make things easy, I want you to focus on 4 words. Just 4 words. Now, you're going to find those words. I'm not telling you your words because this is your business and you got to do your thing, okay? So I want you to find 4 words that are important to you for your studio. So I'm going to tell you my 4 words. I want every student, when I'm focused on them, to feel safe, to feel supported, to feel challenged, and to feel seen. So in everything that I do within our language at the studio and in our classroom, and as I'm working with my staff, those 4 things must be present. Is what you're doing and what you're saying in your classroom making your students feel safe, supported, challenged, seen? It's an easy way to take this big scope of like paperwork that we're trying to do to make our businesses thrive and grow and have a present. If you take 4 words, find 4 words that resonate and mean something to you that you want your business to stand on, you can wrap your mission statement around it, your vision statement around it, your class policies around it. Because at the end of the day, you have those 4 words that you're trying to meet that goal: safe, supported, seen, challenged. And I want to leave you with this. So mine's short and quick and easy. So that's your homework to work on your 4 words. But I want to leave you with this. Culture is wrapped up in the little moments. Our job here is to help bring awareness to those moments and then give you tools, practical tools that you can implement on a day-to-day basis to keep your culture strong. When your culture is strong, excellence thrives. That's all I got.
Get it, girl. Fantastic. Love it. Love it. And you know what I love about Malika? Here's the thing. I'm going to say in the top 10 people that I know in my life, I feel like I can tell you anything in the world, girl. But from the moment that we had our Zoom conversation, that was it. And I was like, she's going to be in my life forever.
Yeah, you're kind of stuck with me. And so are the rest of y'all. So, hey, we're here together.
I love it. Great message. That was great. It kind of brought tears to my eyes. So that leads it to Jackie. Are you going to bring tears to my eyes with knowing your numbers, girl?
I'll bring you some real talk.
Okay,
Malika's
girl.
over there. She's thriving. I'm just surviving.
Oh my God.
My recital week. Does anybody else feel like they're just like doggy paddling just right there? Like, hey, I'm here smiling. It's me. That's where I'm at. I'm doggy paddling just as fast as I can right now.
You're so smart for doing your recital early, girl. I mean,
Ah,
you're going to be done by Sunday at midnight, right?
oh, for sure.
Like,
Yes, ma'am. I'll be in my bed asleep. That
okay,
is where I
I'll
will.
call you at 12:01. I'm kidding. Go for it.
Yeah, so it's my recital week. But like the light at the end of the tunnel for me. So my word for you is hopes and dreams, which has nothing to do with finances, right? Why are we all here? How many of you, when you were 8 years old, fell in love with dance? And maybe it was younger, but you were like, gosh, when I grow up, I want to be a dance teacher. Who said that in early elementary? Yes, many of you. Okay. How many of you know this percentage, this statistic? Because I like numbers. I didn't always like numbers, but I do now. What is the percentage of students, like high school students or even college students, who say they're going to go on and do that hobby, that sport, that art that they fell in love with in high school and make that a career? Does anybody know that statistic? Less than 1%. So everybody give yourself a giant pat on the back right now. You are that less than 1%. You ran with your hopes and your dreams and you made it a thing. So now what? Do you guys feel like that? I'm channeling that 8-year-old energy of all of those students that are coming to my dress rehearsal tonight and just going to eat it up. And it is so amazing that I can provide that for them. And why can I provide that for them? Because I make money, enough money doing this to pay my bills, to pay my staff, and to have a little bit to take home for myself because that is important, right? I also have 8-year-olds with hopes and dreams. Lucky for me, it's dance, but I also have kids who don't dance, and that's okay too. But I can provide for them their hopes and their dreams, whatever they want. So financial awareness, confidence in your financial awareness doesn't come from guessing. We're not hoping we have enough money in the bank at the end of the day to cover our bills for the rest of the summer or to kick us out, even jump starting us ahead into the fall. Confidence knows from knowing your numbers inside and outside. It's not, I hope we're doing okay. I think this works. I know I'm going to make money off of my recital to carry me in to the next big payday coming in for our studio. Okay. So you know what's coming in, you know what's going out, and you understand why. It does not mean I'm an accountant. I have someone who helps me with that. But it does mean that I pay attention to what's going on in my business and I can back up my choices with confidence because I know what my numbers are doing. So, simple examples that do you know if you can afford to bring on that new teacher that sent her resume that's asking for a higher cost? Maybe. How would you know that? Do you know if you can or should add another class if you've got a full class on your list? Do you have a wait list going for that? When do you know if it's time to add that extra class onto your schedule? Do you know if your classes are profitable? Do you guys know how much it costs to open the doors to your studio and turn the lights on for the day? Do you know if you're pricing your classes appropriately? All of those clear decisions feel really, really heavy, but my challenge for you is to spend 10 minutes every week, 15 minutes every week, and to set a designated timer to review some of those numbers so that you can start simple. And at the end of these processes that we put into place here, it starts to feel a lot less complicated and you feel a little bit more confident in your systems and your numbers. I know Michelle talked a lot about the systems in place. This is one of the most important systems to put in place because if you can't pay your bills and keep your lights on, guess what happens to your dreams and your hopes and all those 8-year-olds that you love so, so, so much? It doesn't exist anymore. Think about that. Think about how important dance is in our hearts and what it's doing for the community and the youth in your neighborhoods right now. So, so important. I don't think there's anything more important than dance in our culture. So, that's my challenge. My homework for you is to set a designated time. It's 10 minutes every week, 15 minutes every week. Do you have an extra 10 minutes that you could stop scrolling? You could stop flicking through the TV? You could stop doing laundry. That's right. I'm telling you to stop doing your laundry and spend 10 minutes knowing your numbers. So that way you don't have to do your laundry. You just buy new clothes. No, I'm kidding. Don't let it go too long, right? but we're understanding our finances so that we can stop underpricing ourselves, that we stop feeling bad about what we might be setting ourselves, what rates we're making, and we make decisions like a CEO, not just like a teacher. I'm talking about the owner side of things right now. Okay. Because if I don't make those decisions, then it doesn't matter. I don't have teachers because I can't afford to pay them. So sit down, put a reminder in your phone or write it in your planner if you're a paper person, Lynn. No judgment, just awareness. 10 minutes to spend so that you are more confident in your numbers and what you're doing for the studio and the hopes and dreams of those kids within your community.
Thank you, sister. You're amazing. All right, Miss Miranda, the girl that, bless her heart, she just shakes her head at me all day long, you guys. Today she's talking about from idea to execution. Go for it, sister.
Hello, everyone. My name is Miranda Jeaner Barbier, and I'm the project director for the Julie Kay Mastermind Company. So we're talking about from idea to execution. I have a question for you. You don't need to answer it out loud. Maybe you don't have the answer right now, but where are you stuck today? Where are you stuck? And by the end of this, we're going to have the pathway to get unstuck today. But where are you stuck? Most of us, we are not lacking creativity in this business. We have a lot of it. But our creativity often gets buried beneath everything else, all that chaos we've been talking about. You start with those visions and ideas, you have lots of energy, and along the way, between planning those recitals and managing people and putting out fires and all of those things, you become the system sometimes, right? Instead of leading the vision. And that's what we want. We want you to get from point A to point B. So those systems keep your studio running, but they're not going to make it grow all on its own, just sitting there collecting dust, right? They're not going to bring it back to life. They're not going to give it the momentum that it needs to get to execution. So this industry asks us to do something really hard, and that is be both creatively and operationally excellent. And that is a hard combination. And so the balance is the most difficult part. So right in the middle of that is where we find the tension. That's where the burnout comes in. That's where our ideas stall in place and that momentum dies and we just can't get to the end. So the logistics and those systems are not the enemy of your creativity. It is what protects it. And your creativity is going to feel blocked without that system and without that momentum. So you have organized schedules, clear, clean communication, solid operations, but maybe you're still feeling stuck. And that's because that creativity loses momentum and it's not moving. So we want to create the energy. We want to create urgency for those creative moments and not just put them on the back burner. And we want to create progress that you can feel and that you can see. And we don't want it to sit or get delayed or always just fall on you, right? And so suddenly you're not leading anymore. You're just fixing things, right? And that's where you're getting stuck. So here's my three things. Here's our pathway. We have to go back, and I do this all the time. We have to go back to our why. We have to clarify it. We have to know why it matters and give it a clear direction. So we start there. And then we have those systems. We start building the structure. And I want to say, for some of us, the most important thing is just starting. Don't worry too much about having it all figured out. Just jump in and know that there are people who will come in to support you and help you. So get that why and get that structure. And when you put them together, we start driving the execution to get to the end so that it actually gets done. And when those distractions come in and those processes get broken and we do have to fix them, you're not just constantly fixing and it's draining you, but you have your why and you have your system. And when you put them together, you've got your momentum to keep those ideas burning and not just a spark that dies.
You're the best. I love it, sister. It's true. I mean, I'm telling you, Miranda helps me in all the things. Like, oh my God, it's crazy. Thank you so much. And guys, why does she look so pretty on camera? I'm like, my hair, I was fixing my hair trying to adjust it. Now there's no telling what the hell Lynn's going to say. All right, Lynn. Lynn, growing leaders. Talk to us about this. Go for it, my friend.
Well, after that wonderful introduction, who knows what's going to pop out now? Actually, I'm just sitting here listening to all these amazing ladies, and I'm like, oh, just throw in the towel. They're fabulous. And what can I possibly add to this mix of wonderful ladies? But I'll give it my best shot. I'm Lynn Meyer. I'm in North Carolina, where it's going to be 82 degrees today. Don't hate me, Michelle. And my job is I'm the Elevate Leadership Team Director. And basically, my job is to nourish and fuel amazing dance teachers and studio owners from the inside so that we can bring out their amazing leadership skills and make stronger leaders of all of them, and hopefully pass that around to their own students and staff in their studios. So that's basically my job. But when we think about leadership, we tend to jump to the end result. We see that strong, confident dancer or that teacher that just has it all together or that amazing assistant. But we forget that leadership starts much, much earlier than that. It starts out as the young, shy student who's over in the corner that gets invited to join the class and who takes a deep breath and steps into the picture or into the room. And at that moment, the person in the room with them begins to fuel the leadership. They begin to pour into them the goodness that we want to have come out of them by the end of the time. There are many ways you can fuel your soul, fuel your spirit, fuel your leadership skills. You have to be very careful what you put in, because what you put in is you will get out what you put in. We know that from every day. But there's a great song from a musical, because if you know me, you know I love musicals, and it's called Feed Me Seymour. Feed Me Seymour. And it's from the show, anybody?
Little Shop of Horrors!
Little Shop, yes, Little Shop of Horrors. Why am I bringing this song up? It's kind of not a very nice song. It's beautiful. It's a great song. But the problem is they feed the plant the wrong stuff. And the plant gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then eventually overtakes the world and everybody dies. That's not what you want to feed. No, no, no. We have to back that out. And we need to feed our young dancers and our staff and the people that we meet every day with all the good stuff. And we're going to start with feeding them by trusting, developing trust. And I don't mean the trust that develops after they've been perfect or after they've proven themselves over and over and over again. The trust that you develop is the trust that happens when people rise because they see you think they're capable of it. It's that, hey, can you come over here and demonstrate a plie for me? Because you have said to that person without saying the words, but you have said and let them know, I believe in you. You're capable of this. And as soon as you start to feed that trust into them, then they start to become more confident and they start to take risks and become more daring. And inch by inch, second by second, mile by mile, they're starting to develop trust in themselves, trusting in the people around them. And then guess what happens? They start to become a leader. They start to become a leader. But then we have to feed them something else. We have to give them consistency. And that can mean like consistency in how we greet our students every day. How do we structure our lessons? How do we structure our classes? How do we follow up on the things that we say we're going to do? All of that builds consistency. And when people see consistency, the consistency starts to create something really powerful. Safety. And when people feel safe, they get more confident. And because I'm not going to go in someplace where I don't feel safe, I need that safety so I can be confident in who I am and what I'm bringing to the table. And once we develop this confidence and we've got their trust, That's great, right? We're ready. We're done. No, we're not. Because what good is any of that if we don't give them the opportunities? They need the opportunities to put leadership into practice. And this can be any kind of opportunity. It can be creating an amazing leadership program within your own studio walls. It could be handing over the holiday show to one of your wonderful teachers and saying, here's an opportunity. And that's amazing. That's a big opportunity in and of itself. But also, with opportunity, that doesn't mean you turn and walk away and leave that with somebody else. It means that you are there beside them to lead them and support them. You're not in front of them, pulling them or overshadowing them. You are beside them to lift and support them, because really and truly, leadership is not built by chance. It is built by design. And once we design our people and our leaders with trust and consistency and opportunity, the things that they can come up and do beyond our studio walls is a lot more powerful than we can even imagine. And that impact is gonna have a greater and far more effective reach than we can even begin to know. So get out there and grow some good leaders.
I
Thank
love
you.
it, sister. You're the best. All right, we're coming on our last speaker, Miss Carson. And just to let you guys know, look in the chat because I'm going to be teaching this summer in Hawaii with the at the Alani Resort with Dance and Magic. So make sure you check out that chat. We're going to close this amazing Zoom with Miss Carson. Carson, take it away. You got 5 minutes, girl.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be talking with you today. We have already heard so many different, just amazing different roles that everybody plays in this company, but also things that we all play in our own studios. I am going to lighten the mood a little bit with a little segment on our newsletter, but I want us to think about what we've already heard today because we're going to take little pieces of that. So your systems, your content, your culture, and your vision, all of those are going to be incorporated into your newsletter somehow. And if they're not, then that's what I'm going to get you guys thinking about today. So I want us to ask ourselves if your studio could answer questions before they're even asked from your parents. So if they're constantly asking you questions over and over and over again, what if you already had all of those questions answered? That seems like a dream world. Like you would never get these silly questions ever again. Now, that's never going to happen, but something that can certainly help is the potential that your newsletter has. So, if your families were getting that amazing, informative newsletter every single month, they would automatically feel more informed. They would be more excited about your studio and all the things that you have to offer, and they would be completely in the loop as to what is constantly happening at your studio. So I want us to kind of take a mindset shift as to what our newsletter is, whether that's weekly or monthly for you. A lot of the time it can feel just like, oh my God, I got to do this newsletter. It can just feel like another task, but it really is one of our most powerful communications tools that we use in our business. So a lot of the time we are thinking of our newsletter just as sending out updates, but the studios that use their newsletter to their full potential, it is their control center for communication. So with it being a control center, I want you guys to think really long and hard about that. It's going to reduce confusion from your parents. It's going to reduce those last minute questions that everyone has because guess what? They'll already have all the information. And then it's going to reduce a lot of frustration from your parents. So there's going to be a lot of benefit to the experience that they are all having at your studio. So instead of reacting to all that's coming into you all week long because no one's informed, you're going to be leading this conversation before it even starts. So if you don't tell the story yourself, your parents are going to create it for you. And that's almost like a stab in the heart a little bit because this is your dream, this is your business, this is your vision. So lead that dream, lead that vision, and provide them with all of the information up front so they are not creating their own story about what your studio is. So your newsletter is not going to just inform people, but you're going to create a whole feeling. So if we take our recital, for example, we don't just put on a show. We don't just send out dates and come up with, different numbers and, get all this stuff off Google. We come up with a full experience that is from the heart of all of our teachers, all of our staff, and yourself. So with your newsletter, you're turning information into anticipation and excitement, just like you would a recital. But this is happening either weekly or monthly for you and all the events that are happening at your studio. So your parents, they don't want to just know what's happening, like this is our deadline for this, or this is when this is due, but they want to feel like they're a part of something, and they want it to be more of an experience as a whole. And someone actually touched on this earlier, is just being a part of it and what they are connected to. I think it was Haley. They're connected to the real. They're not connected to the fake. They're not connected to the stock images. They're not connected to what your layout is. They are connected to the real feeling that you are portraying from your studio. So the most frustration from your families, from your parents, it's not going to come from your bad policies, but it's going to come from unclear communication. And I experienced a very, very fun experience with that this week. If you want to chat about that, I certainly will. But there's a lot that we can learn from this. So 3 things specifically that your newsletter can do very, very, very well for you is keep things very simple. Simple and straightforward is the key. Do not overwhelm anyone who is trying to learn about your business. Keep things very consistent. We've talked about consistency a lot today. That is a major key. And keep things very predictable. So when parents know where to look, what to expect, and when to expect it, everything's going to run so much smoother. So for example, if you're sending out those newsletters, make sure it's going out on the same day every single month or every single week. And they know exactly where to find everything that they need. So if your parents are constantly asking those questions, it's not because they're not listening, but they're most likely just lost. They probably just don't know where to look. So when you create that structure, you create that system, just like Michelle was talking about, they already know where to expect all their information and where they can find it. Now, I don't want you guys to leave today thinking this is going to be so much more work, because in reality, putting more time and energy into that newsletter is going to save you so much time later on. So if I could get you to do one thing for me, is to just take a little extra time for the month of May and put that extra touch on your main newsletter, and especially for recital season, because Lord knows they need it. And I hope moving forward that you can just take some of these tools with you and make your newsletter and your vision and your studio just that much better.
Amazing. My goodness, you guys, what an hour packed. Nailed it, like in tears. Come on, this is fantastic, everybody. I'm not that one that promotes my membership like everybody else does. If you want to be a part of our newsletter, go ahead, and I'm going to be sending you a recap of this, as well as all the information for the little special that Dance the Magic gave you. My phone number's in there. You're more than welcome to call me. So I'll put the information in a recap email so you can go back and watch this if you're inspired by anything. I'm really, 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 really proud of the people that work for this company. They were handpicked, and I believe with all my heart that God led them to me. And hey, you know what? It takes all kinds of people from different situations in life to create a business. Some days we're thriving, some days we're surviving, and some days we don't even know, what we're doing. And that's just part of it. It's what happened to me when I owned a dance studio. And ultimately, when it boils down to it, it comes down to that if we don't love teaching kids, then we do not need to be in this business at all. Like, it's all about the kids. And it's not about the problem parent. It's not about the problem employee. It's, do we want to keep this place open to make kids thrive and to feel what we thought that was amazing when we were a kid? And yesterday at Parents Week, I performed my very first recital song for them, and they all clapped for me. And I said, here's the deal. If I can still remember my very first song, it meant that stuck with me forever and ever. And it meant that teacher inspired me. And I told them, I hope that I inspire your children to stick with this forever. And hopefully one day, whether it's in McDonald's whether it's in Taco Bell, wherever it is that they're going to perform that, even if it's on the playground to perform in front of everybody. You know what? Dance is therapy. It's my only addiction that I have in my life that is the best thing in my life. Like, it's the only kind of addiction that I want. And I'm sure that you feel that way when you work on your business every day. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm just doing this and doing this and doing this. It's not that we get to do it. It's that we want to do it and that we need to do it because it is our passion. So if you want to come join us at the Mastermind Company, it's juliekstalkup.com. And if you don't know how to reach out to me that way, just send me a damn text or just message me on Instagram. It's that easy. We're like that. I'm very blessed to have everybody in my life. And you know what? Just like yesterday, I told you, I lost a friend from high school. You never know. We're not promised any day in the world, and we don't know when our time is to leave this beautiful earth. So we might as well make it a damn good place to live and a really good place to have a great community. So thanks for being a great community, and we will see you guys later. Bye, everybody. Love you lots. Mean it.